It's time for the Average Black Man Show. Got the work week done, clocking out, no rushing. About to hit the YouTube streets. Now it's time for a discussion. Only come with the real, can't be fake or frontin'. Don't run from the conversation, there ain't no ducking. Sit back, sip some wine, get into the vibe. Go hit the link and come up on the live. Jump on in the comments and let me pick your mind. Opinions flying free, let's let our thoughts collide. It's the Average Black Man Show, talking about everything you need to know. Sometimes things may get a little heated, but these conversations are needed to help the community heal and grow. Accountability, responsibility, reciprocity, respectability.
And welcome everybody to the Average Black Man Show. I'm Timothy Hughes. I got Mr. Meach and John Nail on the panel with me, and we're gonna jump right into the nitty gritty. We talking about what's going on in this world. We just having the conversation about the things that's going on. So let's have a conversation. So John fell off, but I'm gonna play a clip of something he was asking about earlier, and I just want let me see. This clip is 56 seconds long, and we going in. We going in.
I generally think it's good advice that first dates need to be cheap to free. I think if someone is spending more than $50 on a first date, that to me says you're kind of irresponsible. It's like you're gambling before you even know what the card game is.
I've been on a date that was $250 was my first date.
That's crazy.
How was it?
It was well, he was the real estate agent in my fancy building, so he could afford it.
Okay. But yeah, if I get to the end of the date and you're a black man and you tell me to split, I'm not talking to you ever again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Do you feel like that's a bit too much to put on to culture, like solely?
Well, okay, so in the context where I'm like, okay, maybe someone of a different race poses that idea to me and I'm,
Too much.
It's okay to have.
I just,
Man, if you're a black man and you ask me that, hell nah. But you, Mr. Other Man, you cool. That's wild, bro. Your face already tell it all right now.
To me, it's, in my opinion, it's ridiculous. Like why are you counting how much money is spent on the first date in the first place? Like, to me, if that matters, like it don't make any sense. Like, so why are you really trying to get to know me then? If you're trying to pay attention to how much the dollar amount that I'm spending on the first date, when dates are supposed to be, hey, let's get to know each other. Let's see if we vibe. Let's see if we even want to do this again. In my opinion, the perfect first date should be free. It should be like just go for a walk through the park, chop it up, get to know each other.
That's bare minimum.
Yeah, but no. I mean, and this is just one of many videos that I've seen where typically women are talking about like dollar amounts that should be spent. Actually, I don't remember them saying a minimum that should be spent. I think they were just discussing how much has been spent before. But I've heard video clips of women saying, "Oh, the first date should be minimum $150, $200," and I'm just like, huh? You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so that makes me feel as a man, especially if you ain't chipping in on this date, that you just looking to try to get what you can out of me, not try to actually get to know me. If you're focused on the dollar amount, when it should be just like, hey, did we have a good date? Period. Whether it be $1,000 date or whether it be a date that was free.
Right. So let me move because I think I played the wrong clip because he was talking about something else. Hey, Lioness Purr. Hey, Jossie in the comments. We see you. I'll open up the panel later too if y'all want to jump on and cuss us out in y'all women voices. All right, check this out.
What's your opinions about all this 50-50 talk we've been hearing nowadays?
I think that's cool. That's fair. Cause if my son got a girlfriend and she think he gotta pay, I got a son. So if his bitch thinks he gotta pay everything cause he's a nigga, it do not work like that. Like that shit gotta be fair. I just feel like it's fair game. We all, cause I feel like, you know how they try to say, oh, he a dude, so he can do that. I don't think that's right either. Girls do the same shit niggas do. Niggas be hoes, bitches be hoes too. Niggas be wanna fuck, bitches be wanna fuck too. So I just say, like, I don't be putting no titles on shit. I just say, we are all people, 50-50. It's just, that's life. You gotta be fair with the shit.
I see homeowners spending.
Now, technically, that woman is a millionaire. So technically, that woman is a millionaire. That's Sexy Red, if you don't know who that is. The rapper Sexy Red. And she's saying that she's gonna teach her son that it's not his job to automatically take care of a woman. Okay, I see you lying there. She's working. I got you. Now, me and you come from a generation built in tradition. So you may, I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, about 50-50? Well, for me,
50-50 is the buzzword. Well, go ahead.
For me, I don't feel one way towards it or against it, to be honest. This is how I feel about it. I feel that every relationship should do what works for them. Everyone ain't got it like that to where a man can provide for the whole household. This isn't the 1930s and 40s and even 50s where a high school diploma, got you a job or a career that you was able to raise 5-6 kids. We just don't live in that society anymore. So now, but for me personally, speaking for me personally, luckily for the most of my adult life, I've been in a position where I've, took care of the woman that I was with financially, except for one. And at the time that we met, she just so happened to have, her own career. But other than that, I was able to do it. Now, do I think, and that's how I grew up. I was raised by my grandparents who, that's what he did for my grandma. Now, do I think that that's just how it should be? No, I think everyone should do what works for them. Every relationship ain't gonna work like the next relationship. You know what I mean? But I just think it's weird how there's so much, negative. I don't want to say negative perception, especially on the woman's side when it comes to the idea of 50-50 or having a 50-50 relationship. It's all negative. Unless, of course, y'all married and it's time to get that divorce. I don't hear nothing negative about that. When it's time
50-50 works then, huh?
Yep.
Well, the thing about it is I agree. It's that whatever works for the relationship, it should just be what it is. And people need to, people got the right to have their opinion, but what works for one group may not work for another couple. And that's fine. Like the way I define 50-50 is not monetary, because what my wife does is she does her part, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, You know, I go to work, and while I'm at work, she does her role in the relationship. She makes sure the kids get ready for school and all of that, and I bring home the bacon and make sure the mortgage is paid. Like what she does is not any less valuable than what I do. What I do isn't more important than what she does, and that's just how I look at it.
I agree with that. To me, that's true 50-50. It's like everyone's providing something. Basically, what you're saying is what most men, another thing that's frowned upon when a man asks a woman what they bring to a table. You just basically explain what your wife brings to the table.
Right. And what's funny about that is how women get mad at men for asking that question. But for as long as I can remember coming up, and maybe you remember too, that used to be what women asked men.
I vaguely remember that. Because in all honesty, and even to this day, women still want to know what do you bring into my life?
Right. Well, the way I hear it framed now is they say, don't be in a relationship that doesn't serve you. And when I hear that, I was like, well, if a man said that, he would be accused of being controlling and all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's harder now when it's like you said. I didn't catch the whole thing you were saying, Tim, but you was talking about what the traditional roles: the man go to work, the woman stays home, and raise the kids. But both jobs have the same amount of value. Was that what you was talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
See, I agree
Value
with that.
and importance. Value and importance. Because I could, like, y'all know me personally. Y'all know I was a single dad. And this is why I can empathize with a lot of single mothers, especially when they have small children. Because when my son was a baby, I couldn't work. I had to go get on the county, and just like with the women, I couldn't work. Well, I couldn't just leave him there by himself. You see what I'm saying?
Daycare, you can work.
Man, and that's true, but
I
but
had kids
but no,
too. I had
but
to work.
daycare to me is wild, especially for a small baby, like 2-3 years old. Nah, they need their parents. But
Ideally, yeah.
but no, did you see the clip?
No.
All right, let me play the clip again for you. You know who Sexy Red is, right?
Yeah.
And Sexy Red is technically a millionaire.
What's your opinions about all this 50-50 talk we been hearing nowadays?
I think that's cool. That's fair. Because if my son got a girlfriend and she think he gotta pay, I got a son. So if his bitch thinks he gotta pay everything because he's a nigga, it do not work like that. Like that shit gotta be fair. I just feel like it's fair game. We all, because I feel like, you know how they try to say, oh, he a dude, so he can do that. I don't think that's right either. Girls do the same shit niggas do. Niggas be hoes, bitches be hoes too. Niggas be wanna fuck, bitches be wanna fuck too. So I just say, like, I don't be putting no titles on shit. I just say, we are all people, 50-50. It's just, that's life. You gotta be fair with the shit.
I see homeowners spending.
And yeah, see, I agree with that. I mean, it's 50-50, and that can come in a multitude of ways. Like you said, it don't have to be we split the bills exactly 50-50. If I make more money, I would provide, pay more for the bills or something, or vice versa. But I think where it gets shit in our age group, where that shit gets complicated is, you're not staying home and taking care of my kids.
Right.
So shit
So
like that.
that's where that men starting to ask in our age group, what do you bring to the table comes in.
And
Because
that
it's
shit
like,
is definitely important now. It's like now that I'm 45, a single parent, you know what I'm saying, raising them with my ex-wife. You not gonna stay home and bring and give me more. I don't want more babies, so you're not gonna give me more babies. I don't want no more. So you got to bring something to the table. So now they do have to be probably more monetarily.
Right. Well, boom. This is gonna segue into another, and it's kind of along the same topic, but it's kind of segueing into something else that's going on. How long is this clip? I'm not gonna play the whole 3-minute clip, but we'll get the gist of it, because what you're talking about is, now that we're at this big age, and you're not giving me no more kids and all of that. So what exactly is beneficial in this relationship, right?
I don't know what it is, but I don't ever want to live with another man in my life. Like, I don't want a man living in my house. And I know that that's how things are supposed to go, but you're actually more peaceful when you live by yourself and the other person lives by themselves, like in their own space. Like, I don't have to wash your clothes. I don't have to fold your clothes. I don't have to cook for you all the time. Like, sorry. You don't want to understand the role as a woman that you have to have when you have a man, especially living in your house. Like, and it's so peaceful. I don't have a man opening my fridge, throwing socks everywhere. Like, just that I could just literally just walk around my house in peace. I don't think I ever want to live with another man in my life. I don't know. It's because, I'm very experienced. I've lived that for a long time.
Like I said, I'm not going to play the whole 3 minutes, but I want to play another clip to get a gist of exactly this new thing that's getting traction in social media. And
I could be open, but one thing I need you to know is that I never want to live together.
You're so quick. Should I take it personally?
I like my alone time.
But is that real?
That's real.
Oh, wait, are you speaking as Kiki right
I'm
now?
speaking as the Kiki.
Not the
Okay, girl. I just feel like, Whoopi Goldberg said it best once. She was like, I don't want to better in my house.
Yeah.
Wait.
Feel that. Time out. You're for real right now?
I'm for real.
So what
married
about,
even. Married even.
So you're going to live around the corner?
Around the corner would be great.
What about a guest house? Would you let him live in the guest house?
We can be in a guest house. You know what I'm saying? We can be on the same, land, but I'm over there and he's over there.
Yeah.
At best, separate rooms.
Okay. So what about, you go to the bathroom, you have the 2 toothbrushes?
No, so he can mess my bathroom.
Is that your hot take? So if that's your hot take.
That's one of them.
And that's a hot.
I can't close my mouth. But think about how fun it would be to be like, I'm going over to my man's house.
Yeah. Over there.
Over there.
You know what? It keeps things right.
It's fun and exciting. I want to go sit on his couch.
And he better clean when you're coming over.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? I will say I'm laughing about it, but there are probably people watching right now who agree with you.
So in this marriage in which they live separate, is he expected to pay 2 mortgages?
No, I don't think so.
Because the reason I'm saying that, because that's the type of goofiness they really be thinking.
I don't think that's what
because
she's
you're
saying.
a man. Because you're a man, and as a man, you're supposed to take care of me. It's a man's job to X, Y, and Z. You did?
Yeah, I don't think so. I definitely don't think that's, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that's what they're saying. I think they all saying they got their own shit. And I've thought about this, I mean, even the girl I'm dating right now, that's her thing too. She don't want to live with another man. She kind of want to live, separately.
I don't know about the first chick, but Kiki definitely got enough money to where she can her own, afford her own house. Whoopi obviously has enough money where she can do her own house. But the first chick, I don't know. She seemed more like a regular chick. I would hope that if you don't want to stay with me, I would hope you don't expect that I'm going to be paying your apartment, house, whatever it is that you got. when
Well,
I
a
have
key thing.
my own space that I'm willing to welcome you in.
Yeah, that's just unrealistic. I mean, they can find a sugar daddy, but shit, most motherfuckers can't afford that. We in California, my
Well,
rent is 3,000, you know. I'm
right.
looking for someone to share that shit with me
Yeah,
now. I ain't looking to
we were
add
talking
to it.
about something like similar to that earlier before we went
Yeah, we
live.
was talking about that earlier before we went live.
But the something I noticed that both the regular chick and Kiki said was, I don't want a man in my space dirtying up my house. I don't want him messing up my cloud, leaving clothes on the floor and stuff. Let me see what Whoopi said.
That you don't want nobody in your house.
Yeah.
As you should. Is there any other rules or parameters that you have for your life?
No, that's really the only one, because that takes care of everything.
All right, I didn't hear what the lady asked her.
Okay, so the question. So you once said you don't want anybody living in your house, right?
Now, I remember her saying. I remember a different interview where she said that, and she
says,
did
"Is there
mention
any other more
of a man.
rules?" Yeah,
She mentioned more of a
the
man.
lady asked, "Are there any other rules that you have besides that?" And Whoopi says, "No, that take care of everything."
I mean, one, she's older now. Two, I mean, we're talking about Whoopi. One, she's older now. Two, I think that, she's wealthy enough and she's so comfortable in her own space that I think that bringing another, especially a man or a mate, kind of like what we mentioned, I think Janelle mentioned this before we got live, we're at this age, we're more stuck in our own ways.
Yeah.
So we're not so willing to compromise.
No, that's what I said.
She's not willing to compromise, so she don't need no dude to pay for her bills and nothing like that. So she's like, dude, as long as I'm in my own space, I can afford my own space, do my own thing. That's what I'm willing to do. Like me, I'm here in my own space. Am I willing to share the space? Yeah, but to be truth be told, they got to be on my program.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Whoopi is saying. Like, dude, okay. She's like, dude, I don't want to stay with no one because 9 out of 10, Whoopi, what, dating her 70 now? And ain't no 70-year-old man going to hop on her program like that. 9 out of 10.
And she recently came out and said that in another interview that what she got going on is she have men come through and drop it off and get on.
I would love to hear
at almost 70 years old.
That's all you need.
I would love to hear married people's perspective on this. It's all single people saying, because it's all people that did it before and it ain't worked out. So, you know what I mean? It's the fear of going back into that shit and it not working out again. I would love some successful people that's doing it talk about that shit. We ain't got no clips of that. Married people that we've been married for 50 years.
I'm trying to paint a narrative.
Tim found all the toxic clips.
Yeah,
well, that's what go viral, man. You gotta get people what they want. How would you feel if you watched? How would you feel if you watched Jerry Springer and they didn't fight? You'd be like, man, this is a whack episode of Jerry. They didn't even fight.
But wouldn't you want to know? I mean, who does that and who's doing it successfully? Because these is all single people talking about that shit.
And that's the thing, is that it's a niche idea because we come from a generation of tradition. So there isn't. So if there are any examples of people living separate, and I'm sure there are, they got people that have careers in 2 different places, and they come to. So it does exist. It's just, this is TV, man. We got spectacle now. Now I want to play this next clip.
So you're trying to get that average at best moment?
No, I'm just having the conversation. Let's just have the conversation, man. That's all we do.
Yeah, I mean, all that shit come out of fear, We've all did it and that shit ain't work out. And now we all used to our house the way we got it set up.
Well, that, and I think like someone in Whoopi's case, I think she's coming to grips with, or she's like truly learned who she is as a person. So she's like, you know what? I know who I am. And I know that I cannot have nobody here because it's going to just irk the crap out of me. So this is what I need to do. And kind of like Tim said, she just has someone come over, drop it off, do their thing, and go on about their business.
Right. At almost 70
And
years
men,
old.
see, it's easier for a woman to find a man that's willing to do that versus, besides vice versa. Because most women ain't willing to just like, oh, so what am I, just some booty call? Like, that's how they start.
Yeah,
A dude don't mind.
Like that's all you want.
I wonder if she settled into that, or is that what she prefer? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
And
I have a feeling that she probably settled into it. With her age now, I think she probably settled into it. You know what I mean? But she may not prefer it. She may not. She may prefer to mate. But remember, because Whoopi always had that stigma, like, that I guess you could say public perception, like she wasn't cute or something like that. So maybe she could never find the one to be like, oh, I'm gonna be the dude just with Whoopi. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, he was never ugly to me.
That's like the Leslie Jones thing that's hot right now.
Yeah,
Leslie,
I would expect to hear that
from someone like that. Situation. Like Leslie, her masculine energy, man, is ridiculous.
And she damn near 60. She like
Leslie
58, 59 years old. She like 58, 59 years old.
And I think she just
hear this from the people that live alone. Not from
right.
It's a trip because I think I just saw a video where she put out something that was negative towards men, and I was like, dude, look at
the
how
last 10
you are,
things she put out was that.
No, it was something like more recently that was because I remember she put out a video like, what man shouldn't want me? I'm this, I'm that, I'm all these things, and it's like, dude, you just explain what women wanting to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's
rich,
not...
I'm this, I know how to fight. Like, yeah, those are things that women are attracted to. You know what I'm saying?
But that's real. That's what I say all the time, because coming up, I would hang out with the homegirls and all of that. We'd be chilling, smoking back in the days, and they be talking about, when you be the homeboy, they always ask you, so why do dudes do this and why do dudes do this, right? And I had asked them, like, so what do you think it is about you that a man is attracted to? And then they immediately start explaining the things that they find attractive in men, because they conceptualize their attraction as everyone's attraction. But that's not how it works. I got this going on. I got this degree. Like, all of that are not attractive things to men. They are accomplishments that deserve a salute. Your accolades are a marvelous thing, but that's not what attracts a man in. A man don't see a woman and be like, wow, I wonder how many degrees she got.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Men don't, even when you see a woman that's fine, like, men don't be like, dang, she's so fine. I really want to get to know her as a person. That's not the first things that pop in our mind. But this next clip I want to play is because we played the clip with her of the regular chick explaining why she don't want to be with a man and have a man, because Kiki and Whoopi are exceptions. They're celebrities. They got a whole different lifestyle we don't understand. So when it came to the first chick saying, I don't want to live alone and all of that, like Jossie said in the comment, was like, that's how the girls feel right now. Well, what happens when they get older and they start feeling like this?
Being single, and I love living alone. It's great. It's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500. So I just blew $1,100.
You hear that?
I actually saw that clip.
I got my car fixed, and I blew this money getting my. It ain't that she was doing. It ain't. She conceptualizes as, I just blew this money
in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities.
It's supposed to be a partnership. I agree.
Get my Eddie Kane voice on. how does it feel to be me? You know what I'm saying?
But a relationship is supposed to be a partnership. So I mean, I see what I just left the car dealership right now, nigga. They gave me an estimate. That shit was $8,000 for brakes and shit like that. It was brakes
for brakes,
rotors. They threw some other bullshit on there.
What you driving a Ferrari? What you talking about?
I went there for brakes. I went there for brakes and an oil change. They gave me
an estimate for $8,000 for brakes and an oil change.
They threw some other shit on there, but I went there for brakes and an oil change. I left
engine change.
Huh?
Yeah, he was telling me that on the breakdown paper they was charging them like $60 for an air filter. Like what?
Nah, it was $80 for a damn air filter.
That's even worse.
Which I just had one replaced like a month and a half, 2 months ago. But then it was your rim is bent. We can replace that $1,700, shit like that, man. But it was $8,000.
Wow.
And then they
just give you that price like just so casually. Like you just like someone $8,000 is like $80.
Like shit, the car's still new. I'm like $8,000. But I agree, shit. I want. And then I left from there. And right before I went there, I had to take my son to the dentist so he get braces. So that's another fucking $4,000. I'm like, shit, I wouldn't mind splitting.
And he got a mama too, right? That's what.
We split in that, so exactly. At least we have that, but I wouldn't mind splitting his rent and his other shit too.
Man, that's what I'm saying.
It's supposed to be a partnership, man. I mean, and the truth is, I do like the partnership. It would be hard now. I see what them females saying when they say it'd be hard to live alone. I mean, to live with somebody else. You just get used to your own shit.
What's crazy is, so even if it's not financial, when you mention a partnership, even if it's not financial, it's supposed to be like, what are you taking off my plate, right? Because you coming into this relationship with me, I'm gonna take some things off of your plate.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you ain't got to worry about this, babe, that or that. I got that. What is you doing for me in that regard? It don't necessarily have to be financial. It's just like, what do I not have to worry about? And then back in the day, that used to be cooking, cleaning, my clothes being washed. Like I could just go to the drawer, my socks is there, but like that's a worry that I don't have to do because as a single man, I do all of that. I cook, clean, wash the whole nine, right? Make up my bed, all of that. Whereas if you have that person there that does that, and they not necessarily got to be happy doing it, but because it ain't like men is just go out there happy go lucky going to work. You ain't got to be happy doing that, but at least accept like, dude, okay, this is my responsibility. So now one thing I will say that most of us men do, we ain't happy, but at least we take pride in being able to take care of our family. So it's like you take that pride in taking care of your dude. If he's doing these things for you, you should take pride in doing those other things for him. You know what I mean?
See,
that's one thing that
changed. See, because I'm actually working on something about asymmetric how the tables have turned and the roles have been spent to where things feel asymmetrical for men, because what you're saying right now is based on the tradition, and that tradition is because we as men, we do take pride in that. You know what? I work hard to make sure that my family have the things that they need, and that's what we use to help define ourselves as men. And back in the days, women used to take pride in being mothers. Now it's fuck them kids. You know what I'm saying? that's real.
I ain't had that experience with mine.
Well, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when they be like fuck them kids, it's more of because men we prioritize peace and order, they prioritize happiness. And the problem with them prioritizing happiness is contingent on satisfaction. Now, is there not a cliche that says women are never satisfied? So if by nature you're never satisfied, then you'll never be happy. That's just logic. That ain't me trying to make up, you know what I'm saying, right? So that's the whole thing. So where this asymmetry comes, like Meech was saying, this asymmetry comes in because there was a system in place where we as men, we did this and women did that, and the this and the that together made a whole.
Yes, exactly. We come together and make a whole.
This is what changed now. This is where the asymmetry comes in. The men are like, all right, cool, this is what it is. Women were saying, this isn't fair to us because these are not rules that we made for ourselves. These are the rules that men set for us. So then they had the whole movement where they wanted to make rules for themselves and be able to have their own bank accounts, work for themselves, not be totally dependent on, if I don't get married, I'm going to stay in my parents' house until I die. But then when that happened, and it was nothing wrong with that, it just kept progressing. And as it progressed, it was like, all right, we've changed the rules for ourselves because men made the rules for us. So now I get to do all of these things. And you, men, you can't change because those are the rules you set for yourself. And men are saying, hey, the rules have changed. The society has changed. We need to, find some balance, which is where you start seeing men have these different movements that try to find balance, but they can't figure it out. The manosphere and the men's rights movements in the 90s, the mythopoetic men's movement of the 80s, and the men's rights movement of the 70s. All of these movements were men trying to recalibrate manhood in response to women recalibrating their womanhood. And the minute men started to try to recalibrate our manhood, we were attacked by women for it because they saw it, even though it isn't, but they saw it as an attack on them gaining their freedoms. They see men as wanting to recalibrate manhood as, oh, these men are trying to take us back to the 50s. And when men are just saying, like what you said, John, like, at this big age, we're not having no more kids. Like, so if we get into this relationship and you're expecting me to have all of these traditional roles as a man, I'm supposed to be the provider, the protector, and all that. Those rules were contingent on me having a family. So if we're not having a family, we got to negotiate whatever this is. And rather than women saying, you know what, that makes sense, you ain't no real man. What happened to these men? These men are sassy. These men want to be princesses. These men want to be treated like women. That's where that type of stuff comes from. And the stuff I've been studying and trying to build this framework is that it becomes asymmetrical. For men, we see it as we have to stay in a place where we've always been and lose the benefit that used to come with it. But for them, they get to change what was wrong in the original system to a system that now benefits them. But you have to stay in the system that still benefits them. So it's asymmetrical in that way. And I land the plane.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think to be honest, I think it's just, women being women, that they want to be able to Like, what was the saying? That they want the authority of a man, the treatment of or the benefits of being a woman, and the accountability of a child. Like, that's what they want in this day and age.
Yeah, that's a cliche too.
Yeah. Now, I've met plenty of women who know the real and actually think logically. But I met a lot of them who don't. You know what I mean? I met a lot of them who really want like all those benefits. You know, like you know, they want the benefits of chivalry and all of these different things, but they don't want to be the type of woman that men typically like to give those benefits to.
You know, there's a group of women that believe chivalry is abuse.
Wow.
There's people that believe everything. But no, I mean, you're right. I have met some women that you're right, they want to stick to traditional roles when it benefits them. Like that I'll talk about that one girl, and I told Tim about it. That one girl I dated, that Korean girl that I was dating, and you know, I'm not having any kids. I'm done with that. She don't want no kids, but she like, I ain't working, or if I do work, all my money is mine, and you pay for everything and all this shit. And I asked her that. I asked her straight out, like, what are you gonna bring to the table? She said, I'm gonna bring emotional support. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bitch, you don't seem too stable. How you gonna support me emotionally? You don't seem like you got your shit together.
Wow.
And that's all you bring it to the table is like, you know, ideally, man, you know, I wish I would have stayed married when I was younger. It was a partnership. We was working together, you know, and as a man, I mean, I don't care too much about money, you know, shit. It's all about, you know how that shit go. But as we get older, I do have to look at that more. Like, I'm not taking steps back. It took so long to get to where I'm at. So I can feel when some women is like, you know what, I ain't trying to take care of nobody. But and same here,
And that's
same with us.
prevalent. But you got to think that's prevalent when we zoom out into the Black culture. Just think about how we grew up and what we saw. We saw, and let's just be honest, we saw a lot of ancient dudes living off of women that was on the county, not contributing too much or nothing, but getting her pregnant.
To have more to bring get her pregnant to bring more money into the house, huh?
Yeah, I did see a lot. I saw a lot of that. So I can understand when I ain't taking care of nobody.
Right, that's where that comes from.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, man, when people get in relationships, that shit works itself out. All of us that's talking about that shit, except for Tim ass, we ain't in no relationships. Every clip you pick is some motherfuckers that ain't in no relationships.
Because people that's in relationships don't have these conversations.
They figure out how to work it out.
Right.
And all that stuff goes out the window because you see it too, where there's women is like, I won't do this for a man. Next thing you know, as soon as they fall in love, is when he living there, you doing this, you doing that. So
all the red flags go out the window.
You go right out the window.
And then as soon as she get bad, she go pick him up out the yard and bring him back in the house. Man, now in outside of the internet world, have you guys? Well, I would say John. I'm just going to limb and say that you have come across super feminist or dealt with women that have super feminist views, like in dating, like in conversation, like you'll talk about something and they'll be like, have like a super feminist view of something. like the whole it's a man's job to pay, and you know that it's hard for me to describe right now because I'm trying to keep it up what we're talking about.
I've had some of that. I had a conversation recently, and you know I don't even want to put all that shit out there because this shit going on the internet. I might want to share
You
it
don't
with
gotta say
people.
no names or nothing. You got to be too detailed. All you had to say was, "Yeah, I came across one. It was a woman that did this, and it rubbed me the wrong way."
It ain't rubbed me the wrong way, but it made me think when we was talking about child support. Like you said, you was a single dad. I don't understand how some women feel like, okay, I deserve child support, but if that's a single dad, he don't deserve child support.
Yeah,
you know
see,
what? I'll
that's
put one out there. I'll talk about one that I can talk about. My cousin, Austin.
okay.
Austin was a single dad, man. So she was always on this nigga for child support. You know what I mean? When he wasn't having them, she was always on him for child support. So then he takes over custody of his daughter, and he paid child support. He paid it faithfully. He kept records. You know how he was, super meticulous about everything. So he got records about everything. As soon as and then she decided, you know, she wanted to go because she raised a daughter more by herself when they was younger. And now that the daughter was about 8, 9 years old, she like, I kind of want to go do my own thing. So she left her daughter with him. And the agreement was, you know, she gonna pay child support, never paid a penny. Never paid 1 penny in child support. When he got with his new girl and she found out, she came down there and his daughter lived with him for about 5 years. She ain't never paid shit. He got with his new girl. She came down there, man. She pulled his daughter out of school without telling this nigga. So he go to pick his daughter up and she just not there. So she pulled the daughter out of school and immediately went and filed for child support.
Wow.
I'm like, damn.
Wow.
Immediately. And
All
it's just
because
like,
he had a girl.
all because he had a girl. She didn't want no other girls around her daughter. But they ain't together at all. They not together. She don't even live in the state. She don't even live in the same state as him and the daughter. But, you know, she's trying to get on her feet. She was going to pay child support. She never did. Not a penny.
And the crazy part about it is that she pulled her daughter out of a stable household, living in a house, in a home where she had her own room and all of that, just to go sleep on the couch somewhere.
And then she didn't move her daughter in with her. She moved her daughter in with her sister because she wasn't stable. She wasn't stable. You know? Yeah.
All because
but
you
she
got a
wasn't.
girl.
They wasn't together. That's the thing. And she say they wasn't together because I even asked her, like, man, maybe he lying. Maybe he was hitting it on the side or something. But nah, just so I don't get that, man. I do see that where some women feel like it's okay for me to get it, but it ain't okay for you, and they forget it's for the kid.
Right. And that's the interesting part about that is that that's actually not a feminist view. That is a traditional view.
Yeah.
That's where that asymmetry that I was talking about comes in, that they see it one way. You have to do what a man is supposed to do because that's the role that men set for themselves. I'm going to change my role and do what I want, but you have to be the same because I'm creating this role for me that's based on what you do for me that's going to benefit me, and then I'm going to make more choices and rules for me that benefit me. You know what I'm saying? So like what John was saying earlier, I work, you work. His money is our money, my money is my money, and that's really how it works because you the man, and that's the rules that the man set, and that's why a lot of men, when I look at back to the internet space and look at all of these TikToks and all of that, this is why you see men saying, what do you bring to the table? This don't benefit me, especially when we're in this age group that we're in now, with y'all out there dating and stuff, it's like, like Janelle told me before, like when you compare with his ex-wife, they have life that they live together that help create bonds. Coming up when they first start working, had their little job, still going to school, having to pack that car up and go to the laundromat together, like all of that interaction together built bonds. But so now when you 45, 46, and you meeting a woman and want to date, there's none of that's gonna be there. That's what makes it so easy to not want to compromise and say, I don't got to deal with this shit. Next, and this right here created the infinite options mentality. To where nobody really wants to give a certain person they're dating their all, because there's a better one the next swipe away. I don't want to get caught up. I don't want to be invested with this dude, and then I miss out on the next swipe away. I'm one. And that fucks everybody up.
Oh yeah, I had to hop in the car.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hear you just fine. You about to go take him to dinner?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yep. My son's birthday was the same day as yours.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday. Yep.
Oh shit, I don't have the thing. Go lock.
How old is your turn?
13.
13?
Yeah, he's 6 months older than my son.
Teenage years.
Yeah, 13.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take him out to dinner and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's hard. You're right. When you don't have those bonds, because even like I still, I don't want to be with my ex Abby or nothing like that, but I still have those feelings kind of towards her, like she raised my kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different bond and shit like that. Like she asks for money, I don't be tripping. I know it's going towards the kids or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
you ain't struggle with me. You know what I mean?
Right, but and the way that trend, because I talk to a lot of women in the back chats and in the internet space, and I just start ever since Meech told me about TikTok, I didn't start peeking my nose over there, and what I hear a lot of women say is, they not trying to compromise. Like, I don't have to put up. As soon as they see the first red flag, it's like, nope. It's okay for her to have a boundary and say, I'm not gonna deal with a man that stays out late, and whatever her boundary is, has a lot of female homegirls or whatever. It's okay for her to have boundaries. But as soon as a man has any type of boundary, I don't want you to have the same boundary. I don't want you to have a whole bunch of these. Oh, you just insecure. He been my friend for years. But for you to say this, well, I said that about Ray, and you told me I would about, I told you that I don't like you hanging out with y'all, and you told me I can't hang with him. Well, that's different. That's been a thing forever.
Shit, now you mention it, boundaries. I do have more boundaries the older I am, and maybe we all do. And
right.
That's probably why we just so not as compromising, we do
right.
get those.
Because the thing about it is that it's asymmetrical still, because she's allowed to have boundaries. If you have boundaries, you're trying to be controlling. You're trying to stifle her from doing what she wants to do. And and not that this is gonna happen in our age group, but an example of it would be like dudes telling a girl like he's not comfortable with her dressing a certain way. Hey, step into the light. You want to come up on the panel?
My experience is, women like to, I wouldn't even just say women, I'll just say people. People respect boundaries as long as it's not a boundary that they habitually overstep. You know what I'm saying? If they know that they're going to habitually, like let's say, for instance, the boundary, like, hey, I don't want you having any male friends, and they know they got a ton of male friends, then they like, okay, yeah, I can't, I ain't going to respect that boundary. But as long as it's just something simple that they ain't got no problem, they cool. I've actually never set that boundary though, the whole male friend thing. Remember my first wife, she had a male friend for years, and I knew he liked her. For real, I did. I used to tell her all the time, I'm like, man, that dude like you. But I was so confident in me, I was like, dude, that dude ain't got nothing on me, man. If you want that dude, I'll be shocked. Like, that's how I felt about that dude.
Now, did they ever hook up after you and her split up?
To my knowledge, no. Yeah, to my knowledge, no. I mean, but he was just a different type of dude.
It's like, yeah, like I developed those boundaries and stuff older and older. But one thing I learned though, like a lot of certain boundaries, even though they are warranted, they really don't have a lot of weight, because like the whole example like I gave where some dude like, you gonna go outside with your booty hanging all out, like what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like a lot of men see it as that's her being disrespectful to me. But what they fail to realize is that you can't control what that woman want to do, because that woman can say, oh, I'm sorry, baby, I didn't know this is like that. Go change and come back and be like, how's this? And he'd be like, okay, that's better, thank you for changing. And then she leave and go smash another dude in her boyfriend approved, husband approved outfit. Like her changing it ain't gonna stop her from doing something she want to do. I mean, it might make you feel better to feel like I'm the man. I got her in check. I made her take them shorts off, so I'm the man. And then them long pants you put on that you had her put on, they at that dude house on the floor. She ain't even got them on no more. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, you saying you can't make them change, but when you see her wearing that shit from the get go, you know she ain't the one.
And that's where your discernment comes in. That's why, but see, it's an age appropriate. It's kind of an age thing, because I've come to this conclusion now as a 46-year-old man. Like, so me saying this right now over the internet is me hoping that some young dudes hear it and don't fall into he a simp. I'm giving you game. The fact of the matter is, no much how much of a man you think you are, you cannot make that woman do anything. Same way she can't make you do nothing. Step into the light. I put the link in the comments and I pinned it if you want to come up and add some femininity to the and you can stay off camera. Yes, you can stay off camera.
They can be influenced. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like actually having a true say so, nah.
Yeah. And we all can be influenced. And that's the good things about relationships, is the influence.
But the thing is I just think a lot of dudes don't understand that respect is earned. It's not owed because you're a man. And and that same thing applies, but that goes back to what I was saying about how the manhood is being redefined because men are now saying that women don't deserve certain treatment anymore just because they're women.
I agree with that to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah, like no, just because you're a woman, because you know how like there is some stuff that used to be the almost the unspoken rule just because this person is a woman. Yeah, nah. Yeah, that feminist movement killed all of that. Like, nah. That's not the case no more.
Right. That's where that cliche that go ahead, my bad.
So there's still a lot of shit that I still, you a woman, I'm a man. There's still a lot of shit I subscribe to.
Mm-hmm.
And I do, you know what I mean? I still pay for dates and first dates and all that shit. I don't mind opening doors and shit like that. So there's still shit I subscribe to.
Oh yeah, there's tons of stuff that I'm just like almost robotic when it comes to certain stuff, because that's what I grew up seeing.
Yeah.
But let me be a man right now and be chivalrous and welcome stepping light to the stage. Step into the light to the stage.
Hello, Timothy and friends. How are you guys tonight?
All right.
Yeah, we good.
Oh, I didn't hear. Like I heard a breaking up thing.
Yeah. So how you doing? Thank you for chiming in.
Welcome.
Timothy, as you know, I find you hilarious whenever you use that analogy about her changing her clothes.
It's the truth. Where as the tambourine players would say, where is the lie?
Yeah, no,
Where
and
did
then
I lie?
your gentleman said, well, if she was dressed like that from the door, then she's not the one. But that just depends on the man, because some men don't mind their women showing off their assets. Some of these men purchase these clothes for these women. So it just kind of depends on the man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's somebody for everybody and everything, That's true. It definitely depends. And I wasn't just pertaining to the clothes. I was saying, like, just in general, like, basically the way she act, you got to notice that beforehand.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That's like dating a stripper, meeting her at the strip club, and then in the ninth inning, you're saying, I don't want you to strip no more.
Exactly.
So I get it. I understand. And I think
Which,
you guys are.
depending on why she was stripping in the first place.
Yeah,
You
I
know why
mean,
they all stripping? They all going to school.
that is not true. Are you being woman bad, man good right now?
No, I'll say in the Players Club, the only one who was stripping going to school was Diamond. Everyone else, that was their job.
Yeah, I mean, but I get it. It's like, you have to have your boundaries and you have to stick to your boundaries. You can't bend on your boundaries in the beginning and then, want to be like, hey, this was my boundary, but that wasn't a boundary that you set forth from the door. So I get it. I get what you're saying.
I think that when it comes to, and this is me on the outside looking in, I think that when it comes to dating at the big age group we are now, y'all all know, and I've said publicly that, me and my wife had a 3-year separation, so I can speak to this a little. Is that clear communication of expectation is what should be the foundation. And that's just what it is. Because at this big age, no one is open to compromise. So you might as well just start throwing it out. Look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. You cool with it? Because why waste time? We ain't getting no younger. I'm about to be 50. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, why when I put my camera, when I turn my camera off, a picture of ODB showed up on my shit?
That's what I was smiling at. I was like, where the hell
That's
ODB
what
come
you.
from?
That's what you had it set to when you was
Who,
a
me?
judge on a rap. Yeah, you set it to that when you was a judge on one of the rap battles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you did it.
Nah.
But what do you guys think about expectations? Like, I honestly believe that expectations ruin relationships. And that's with any type of relationship. It could be parent, child, husband, wife, lovers, whatever, because sometimes you put these expectations on people. And when they can't live up to what you expect, now you're mad at them. But you got to really kind of be mad at yourself because you expected something from somebody.
Yeah,
I
but
think
we
that's a
all
double-edged
develop
sword.
yeah, we all develop expectations. You can't get away from that. I mean, maybe you can try to manage your expectations, but you expect your husband not to beat you. You expect your husband to be there for you. So we all have some levels of expectations. So I wouldn't say they ruin relationships, but I would say I do see where you're coming from, though. You know what I mean? It's gonna complicate shit if our expectations don't line up.
Right. So I think that those expectations are kind of a borderline boundaries, right? So this is a conversation that you need to be having from the beginning. And if you don't have that conversation, but you expect this person to do certain things or be a certain way, and they aren't, at what point do you give grace and say, you know what, I didn't let this person know this was one of my boundaries or one of my expectations.
One, I think boundaries and expectations are two different things. I agree with you 100% that expectations can ruin relationships. There's a quote that I can't remember who I got it from, but it says expectations lead to a lack of appreciation. Because when you expect, so like let's say we go out to dinner and you have the expectation that I'm paying, it typically leads to a lack of appreciation that I paid because you expect me to pay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't pay, now you feel some type of way because you expected it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what she's saying. Like expectations can ruin relationships. So let's put it into a different light, right? If I expect you, if you're my woman and I expect you to wash my clothes, it almost leads to a lack of appreciation that you actually wash my clothes.
Right.
I expect it. It's like if I come home and dinner's not made, now I'm mad because dinner ain't made because I expected it to be made, instead of coming home with not expecting dinner. And then all of a sudden I come home to this 5-course meal and I'm just like, oh man, babe, thank you. I appreciate it. So the reason why this hit home for me is because I think I was with someone at one time that had a lot of expectations of me and didn't really appreciate a lot of the things that I did because it was expected.
All right, y'all, I'm about to bow out. I got to go in here. We're about to have dinner.
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoy your
Appreciate you. Appreciate
Catch
you.
y'all next time.
Yep.
I like the way that you gave gave a lot of clarity on that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because I just that's something that ex of mine many years said to me. Expectations ruin relationships. He was like, when you expect things, for your children, you expect them to make good grades or you expect them to do these things, right? And maybe they struggled a little bit with this particular course, and when they don't make the grade, now you're upset. Oh, you're on punishment. I'm taking your phone. You slipping on your grades instead of just having to talk with them. So, yeah.
Right, man. That's why I said what I said, and John kind of Janelle kind of touched on what my position was of seeing it as a double-edged sword, because, like you said, a woman is gonna expect her husband to not abuse her. So you saying so what if he doesn't meet that expectation, it's gonna ruin the relationship?
No, I think that's a different thing. Like that's
Right. That's why I said
expecting.
it's a double-edged. That's why I said I think it's a double-edged sword because some expectations are necessary.
No, but the reason why I think they're different is because expecting an action versus expecting. So, like, the expectations that ruin relationships are expecting an action or expecting something to be said or expecting something to be done versus having the expectation of something that should never happen. Like that's a completely different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the expectation, like, hey, I have an expectation that you shouldn't stab me with a knife. So if you stab me, you know, like, yeah, that's an expectation that I should probably go to my grave with never being fulfilled, right? But if you have expectations, the reason why I say expectations can ruin relationships, or I agree with her when she said expectations can ruin relationships, is because if you have an expectation of something that needs to be done, said, or some type of service that's supposed to be provided that's not getting done because you have that expectation, now you have a problem. Now all of a sudden you're feeling some type of way. There's resentment being built, all kind of stuff because something's not happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's just it's the framework of the expectation. Because when I go to work and I put in these hours, I expect to be paid.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you expect to be paid, right? Mainly because that was an agreement that you have with your employer. Whereas expectations in the relationship, a lot of these are unspoken expectations.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you're expecting me to do this. That's news to me. I didn't know that. But yet they didn't form their whole little narrative in their head on about how you feel about them or certain type of things simply because you didn't do something or you didn't say something because they expected.
But a lot of that still goes back to what I was saying about how the roles of tradition are becoming muddy, because in the example you gave of, if I invite a woman out on a date and then she expects me to pay because I invited her, and then I don't pay, in my mind, she got the right to feel some type of way because I didn't have to invite her to this date.
I agree with that because I was invited to breakfast one time by a lady. This is probably about like 7-8 years ago. And I felt some type of way when I paid. And the only reason I felt some type of way when I paid, not because it wasn't even she didn't even attempt to go to her wallet to split, because I'm like, damn, did you invite me simply because you just wanted to have a free meal? Because you didn't even, like, this wasn't my idea, right? But being that I'm more of a traditional man, I didn't think it was a big deal that I paid, especially because it was only IHOP, so the bill was only like $30. So it wasn't really no big deal, but I couldn't help but that crossed my mind. Like, damn, you invited me. You didn't even attempt to be like, well, since I invited, let me pay. It was just like, oh, to me, it was like, oh, I'm a woman. Even though I invited you, I'm entitled to your wallet. That's how I felt.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Because if I invite you out, then I should be paying. But women, I'm going to speak from like my younger years when I was like late teens, 20s. I understood the men that I was around. So I understood that if I called you and I said, hey, you want to go get something to eat? I knew you wouldn't let me go on my bag. I would have the money if I had to. I would even attempt to go on my bag, but I know that those men would be like, no, I got it.
And that's what made me feel some type of way, because that's the type of dude I am. And that's what I would have, then that's what I would have did. But I felt some type of way because as a matter of fact, this is, I think, the second date. So of course, the first date I paid, the second date she invited, and she didn't even do that. She didn't even attempt to go into her bag or something like that. And now, since we're on the subject of expectations, that's probably why I felt some type of way, because I expected her to at least attempt, so I could be like, hey, no, I got this. Don't even trip. She didn't even do that.
Yeah, the question on the screen is, so you think you feel like the girl played you?
No, it was on $30. No, you ain't playing me for $30. Like, no.
And see, that $30 and I'm gonna speak for me, and maybe some men feel this type of word or whatever, because I'm not a person that's opposed to paying, but had she paid that $30, it only being $30, that thought would have never came into your mind, and you would have looked at her in a different light, because that 30, just her paying would have put so much weight to that little $30 that she don't even understand.
So let me ask you a question. Of course the check came, right? Were you guys just like kind of sitting there and vibing, and you may not have given her time to go in her bag, or was it just literally time to pay the check and just go?
I would say it's probably in between that. One, I didn't, she wasn't someone that I liked a lot, so it was kind of easy for me to be like, all right, yeah, this was a sign. So we was a kind of like chatting. I wouldn't really say vibing. We was chatting, and once the bill came, we chatted for a little longer, and then once that silence came, when it was like, all right, it was like understood it's time to pay the bill. No movement or anything like that. So
I think she was weird. Like, and as a woman, I'm gonna say this because at this age, right now, if I call you and I'll say, hey, you want to grab something to eat, even if it's a friend of mine, right? Somebody that's just a friend. Hey, let's go get some food. Because I called you and I gave you the invitation, I am going to feel obligated to pay. Right? Back when I was in my teens and my 20s, of course, I'm still playing the game. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that was weird of her to call you and ask you to come out of your home or wherever and let's go eat. Yeah, she should have just paid it, because even if, like you said, even if she had attempted to do it, see, she didn't even know how to play the game. Because if she had attempted to do it as being a gentleman, you'd have been like, hey, no, don't worry about it, I got it.
Which I've
So
had
I
happen
did it.
times. I've had it happen tons of times where someone would try and they would, and not necessarily even pay the whole thing. They would just be like, hey, well, you want me to put some on it? I'm like, no, I got you. Don't even trip. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about with far more expensive bills than that. It's like, oh, trip, I got it. That's just how I am. You know what I mean? But that made me feel some type of way for that particular time. But something that me, Janelle, and Tim was talking about recently that made me feel some type of way. Janelle encountered this somewhat recently, but I encountered it actually really recently, was someone that I was dating that makes far more money than me. And I actually make pretty decent money, make far more money than me, right? But yet I'm still, everything that we doing, I'm still doing everything, right? And we not even hanging out. It's like, hey, we trying to get together. It was more like we hanging out as friends. Yeah, friends that kind of liked each other, but it was well established that we hanging out as friends, but yet I'm still paying for everything. And I'm just like, huh? Like, how am I paying for everything? But yet you basically told me how you living. Like, don't have a regular job, because like money is just in the bank account like that. So don't have a job, like literally living off of dividends. Like that's how she live. And I'm just like, but I'm the one paying for all of this stuff. Like that makes zero sense. So
but do you think at that point it's a sense of I don't want to say entitlement, but
tradition,
maybe
like I've been saying,
what she's used to, right? Because it's like if I've been out on 100 dates, right? And this is throughout a lifetime. This is not just like in a short time span. If I've been out on 100 dates and I've never paid for near 100 days, could it just be something that I'm used to that men just automatically pick up the bill?
I mean, look at it that way, that could be the case, because I would say most of the people, let's say that she had been out on a ton of dates, right? It's not like she tells everyone what her financial status is. So they probably just do it, not knowing what her financial status is. My thing is like, I know what your financial status is because you told me, right? Like we pretty much both know each other's financial status. And yet all of these different things that we've done, you ain't decided to pick up man thing. When it's
I
like,
think
and we talk about this chick was like wealthy, and it's like not one. I'm like, okay, wow, okay.
yeah, I think too, like generation a generational thing is different because like when I have these conversations with men and they be like, oh, you girls, your mother's ruined you and blah blah blah. But I would say my dad ruined me, right? Because my dad is the one that always said a man should never worry about what's in a woman's pocket. If a man can't do X, Y, and Z, baby girl, you don't need him. So I didn't, while I got some things from some jewels from my mom, most of these things came from my dad.
Mm-hmm. Which is true.
So it could be a generational thing where, you know, maybe her dad was like, listen, if you going out with a man, he should always pay. You know?
I want to say it's a generational thing, and I wouldn't even say about paying. I just think that it's a thing that so like when I think we did, before you got on, we was talking about this earlier. I can't remember if it was when we was on live or not yet, Tim, but when we talked about Leslie Jones and other women, how when they describe the type of man that they want or the type of woman that they think men want, they describe pretty much like the type of man that they want. They was like, oh, I got this going for me, I got that, and all of these different things that typically men don't care about none of that stuff, mainly because we don't get the benefit from none of that stuff. We don't get the benefit from your degree. Even if you're a rich woman, we don't get the benefit from that. Because typically, like I said, that particular woman, I'm still paying for everything, even though that she had, probably like 10 times the money that I got. So it's like we don't benefit from that. It's like that's still yours. While if we was together, now we was to become a full-fledged couple to where we're like doing life together and we're in a full-fledged relationship and being years down the line, then yeah, I may be able to benefit from some of it then. But in the early stages of while you're trying to build a relationship, like, no, we really don't get the benefit from none of that. Like we still the ones who's doing, most of this stuff. Now, I would say eventually she may, like if we took a vacation somewhere, she may be like, hey, you know what, let's split it or something like that. But what's crazy is if vice versa, like let's say I had 10 times the amount of money that she had, and it's probably even higher than that, it's probably 20, 30 times, but we'll just say 10, I would be expected as a man to cover the whole trip. But
those expectations.
Yeah, exactly, the expectations. Because, like, let me put it this way, and I done heard this from several women. They be sitting there saying, and I heard this from several women, but I think a male comedian said this too. Mentioning when we talked about paying the check, right? You said the woman, as soon as she's pulling out her card, her coochie drying up. It's just like, as soon as she's pulling out the card. You know what I'm saying? So me understanding that as a man, it's like, okay, yeah, no, I can't have that. But at least make the attempt, right? Until we get to know each other. Until we get to know each other well. So kind of like you said that you knew the guys, that you knew as soon as you called them up, you can invite them to wherever and you know that they got you because you knew them, right?
Right.
So to me, it's like, yeah, that's cool. Once you get to know me and you know I'm just that type of dude, that's cool. Now, I'm pretty sure that you wasn't taking advantage. Like every, like 2-3 days, going, hey, let's go, just because you know they got it. Because of course they would pick it. But as long as you hanging out from time to time, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That they understand. So
I used to
did a statistic. There's a statistic that they polled, I forget how many thousands of women, and 33% of those women say that they use men to pay for dates to get free food.
Which is crazy.
I think so
I think 25% of them lied because I think it's probably higher than that.
No, because it's like I don't know. There's the guy that you just really don't want to deal with, but like I live by this kind of motto, like everybody money spends better than mine. Like I don't turn down nothing but my collar, So it's like it's a weird thing. It just depends. It depends on how much you like the guy as a woman. I'm saying It depends on how much you like the guy. It depends on if you got it, if you can spare it. Because I feel like if you can't spare it, don't spend it, right? And again, I think manners, right? Being raised properly. If I call you and I say, "Hey, let's go out," I should pay. Like I really feel like I should pay. Like I'm not gonna. Even if you did at this age, like now, even if you was like, "No, I got it," I'll be like, "Well, no, you can get it next time," or something like that. Or
Yeah, I've had those encounters. I had those where they attempt to pay, and I'm like, "No, I got it." They're like, "No, no, 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 I got it." Like they insist, and I'm like, "All right, if you insist, then I'll go ahead and let them pay." But I'll say that's probably only happened if I would put it on a percentage, like maybe 5%. I'll say the other 95%. As soon as they made an attempt to pay, as soon as I said, "No, I got it," they was like, "Cool."
Yeah, only speaking for me, like I was trying to explain earlier. For me, that gesture, they can even only do it once, but that gesture to me signifies a genuine interest. And that's why I said, has she played for that little, like you said, it was IHOP, it was $30, nothing. But has she had done it, the ramifications on your end as the man, like, okay, it just hits different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why it's important to know your, like, because I could have had every intention of not paying, right? But because I made that gesture, you be like, "No, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I got it. Put your card back. Put your money back." You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times women don't even understand there's just certain things you should do.
And then you should know the type of dude that you're dealing with too, because there are certain type of dudes that as soon as you pull it out that first time and be like, "Oh, I got it," they be like, "Cool." But most real dudes, even if they ain't got that much money, it'd be like, "No, no, no, I got it." Now, if you insist, then like I said, I'll probably just go, "All right, cool." But if kind of like you said, if you never had intention of paying, I'll say more often than not, you pull it out, the dude would be like, "Oh, no, no, I got it." And then you just put it right back in. Like, "All right, cool." You know what I'm saying? You did your part, like I offered, and just put it back.
Right. And who am I to turn it down if you offer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
that's kind of rude.
Let them pay. That's why you let them pay. At
That's
least
kind of rude, right? If somebody offers something and you be like, "No," that's like turning it down. It's kind of rude.
So you said, okay, hold on. Use your logic. So you say when the woman offered the first time that the dude shouldn't turn it down. Be like,
right?
No, yeah, go ahead and pay.
That's rude. It'd be rude.
Yeah, it's kind of rude. It's rude.
So that's what I'm saying.
Like I'm equal opportunity. I'm equal opportunity. Like I'm not like I don't think what's good for men for women isn't also good for men, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of equal opportunity, but again, you got to just it depends. It depends on the man. It depends on if this is what you really want to do, or again, I just wanted to go out and eat, and I didn't want to spend my money. So yeah, here you go. You know what I mean? So it just kind of depends.
Yeah, but I think I'll say more often than not, they didn't offer to pay for the whole thing. They offered to pay for either their portion or like half. They'd be like, "Oh, you want to give you some on it?" And I'm like, "No, no, I got it." But
even
and those are typically like the first couple meetings. Now, when
I've never been Dutch before. Like I've never.
But the thing about it is, like with me, like even if she pays covers the tip, I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, maybe I'm just because it's not about the money; it's about the act. You know what I mean? It's because at the end of the day, like we laughing and giggling and all that, but at the end of it all, men don't want to feel used. Because once men start to feel used, that's when they start to feel like, now I'm about to stick around just to hit because I didn't invest. I got to get some ROI or something. You know what I mean?
But you can't make them feel used. And if you're using a guy, you can't make him feel used. You just can't. Like, it doesn't work that way. Once he feels used, one or two things are going to happen. Like you said, either he going to stick around just so he can hit, or he going to be like, no, shorty using me. I got to go. You know what I mean? So if you're going to use a guy, you can't make him feel used. You have to make him feel like he is king. Okay?
Yeah, I had someone try to do me like that years ago when I was younger, and luckily I had some inside information from from a friend that let me know, like, nah, don't mess with her like that. She was playing the game that you mentioned, like, trying to make me feel like she was legit interested, and come to find out, she thought I had a lot of money back then, because unfortunately, I was young and stupid and spending my money on stupid stuff. I'm in the car, so I had a really, really nice car back then. So she thought I had I had a lot of money. Didn't know I was living in this little 1-bedroom freaking shack in Hemet at the time.
Well, no, one thing my dad always taught me is, like, gotta always have your own, right? So I, growing up, quite, cars were the thing. So you would have every other block, somebody would be pulling up, like, hey, but I've always ever looked at that like, that's your car, that's your shit. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't, because so what, you drive a Benz, it's not mine. You feel me? So I never really was materialistic in that way. You couldn't really impress me with your jewelry and your car and all that stuff. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, I just wasn't. So
what was crazy is because I didn't do it to and try to impress women. Like, that was just what I was into. But simultaneously, women would think that I had money simply because of that. And this particular,
right, she was impressed by the shiny things.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? She was impressed by the shiny things. So the shiny things never impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, man. This thing has, like, evolved into something crazy. Like, we go through this every day. I talk to Timothy every day. And every day it's man bad, woman good, woman bad, man good with him. Like, every day. And I be like, oh my God, Tom, come on now.
No, it don't be. It be me from my egalitarian position, trying to look at everything rational, and because you and I be the only two people in the back chat that be like we're describing human behavior,
right?
Yeah, but when I get to saying that, it's you moving the goalposts, you doing it, yeah, and I'm like, well, look, if you want to say man bad, woman good, then it is what it is. It's like the example, because what it is I've identified man bad, woman good as just a symmetrical expectations. The whole, like, I don't know if you heard earlier, but me and Janelle was talking about like how someone he knows was saying that it's okay for a woman that gets custody of a child to get child support from the father, but a man that has custody of the child should not seek custody from a woman, because what kind of man is he to want a woman's money?
That's wild. No, but what I'm seeing now is a new trend of women saying, here, take your child. I'll pay the child support and be the fun parent on the weekend. You're starting to see that get to be a lot. Like, women are doing it now.
I keep walking away because I'm trying to get some dinner ready for my kids. Hank.
But yeah. No, I think if you should be helping. You should be helping with the child. I don't know. I think today a lot of men and women have this sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
I think they have this sense of entitlement. And that entitlement is starting to just push a wedge, put a further wedge into us coming back as a collective, you know?
You talking about as far as a family unit?
Just period. As a people. Family unit, friends, it doesn't matter, right? Even sometimes with the children. Because I think these children are the most entitled generation that I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
They're very entitled. It's like, oh God. But yeah, I'm telling you. So I just think that there's a sense of entitlement going on, and it's on a real large scale. It's on a large scale. This entitlement thing, and it's like men are, let's just say a man feels like I call you, I take you out on a date. You should be letting me crack at the end of the night. So because you called me and asked me out, now I gotta have sex with you, right? I feel like women feel like, oh, well, I want to, since you want to take me out, I need a babysitter, so you should pay for the babysitter.
Mm.
But like I just use those as an example, but it's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. Like it's no way that you call me out of my house and you say, hey, let's hook up, let's go get something to eat, maybe something to drink. And I'm like, hey, okay. And then we get there, we eat, we do all this stuff. And then you be like, so you coming home with me tonight? And I say no. And they be like, yeah, split the check. That's weird.
Yeah, that's retarded. Yeah, I never understood that.
Or, oh, you want to take me out tonight? Well, I need my hair and my nails done before we go out. And like you said, you have to know the man, right? Because there are some men that will do that. There are some women that will let you hit. Maybe if y'all vibing and it's cool and everything is okay and yeah, let's go do it. Let's just have a full whole nightcap, But you have to know the person. You have to know the person that you're with. Like you have to be able either to read people pretty quickly or at least have some type of communication that lasted a certain period of time.
Mm. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think there is definitely entitlement. Now, on the men's side, I think it's for the men that has not matured yet. I think we all talked about this the last time we hung out. It's for the men that hasn't matured yet. Unfortunately,
Right.
a lot of us men would die 80, 85 and never really fully mature. But I think for the men that's mature, they don't expect that from a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
No, that's true.
they just looking for some cool company. You know what I mean? And if it goes there, cool. Now, I mean, make no mistake, every heterosexual man that his junk still works definitely is going to want to smash at some point. But that's not
even when it don't
Even
work.
when it don't work. I was about to say that. Even when it don't work, they'll take the embarrassing moment.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're gonna want to get there, but it's just not as high of a priority as it once was when they was younger. You know what I mean? Like, whereas
They will take the embarrassing moment and say, maybe it might work tonight. Tonight is the night. It might work.
you gotta, if you don't turn that car on every once in a while,
yeah, nah. I mean, I'm just happy that I haven't had to, for people. And I don't know what the hell I watched. I must have watched a video too long. I think I told you. I must have watched a video too long where now it'd be like sending me them doggone little ED commercials. And I'm like, dude, I don't need that.
No,
I don't even think I watched it. I must was doing something while the commercial came
you don't
on.
even have to necessarily be that you watch something to do with it. You could have got on something that had to do with like health at your age, and you're in that age group. Well, are you experiencing erectile dysfunction?
No.
Get Hard pill might be right for you.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the mental. I mean, personally, that's what I'm thinking.
It's
It's
from
like a bunch of
from a
contributing
person that
factors.
lives with depression. I can absolutely say that your physical health and weight absolutely play a part in it, but it is mental for sure.
Yeah, I think it's probably some definitely some things going on there, but
Especially at our age too, because our testosterone naturally depletes as we age. It's just like when I was young, I had 20/20 vision. Now I freaking wear glasses just because as you age, your body slows down, muscles fade.
yeah, man, I'll be looking in the mirror sometimes how my body transforms. I'll be like, God
Like,
damn.
who is this?
Like, man. You know what I'm saying? Looking at myself naked, like, oh Lord.
Right.
Nah, I feel you, fellas. I'm telling you. I feel you.
I mean, I ain't had no complaints, so my confidence is still there, but I'll be looking at myself like, oh.
I think as long as you don't have man boobs, you'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, I'm fortunate that I don't have those.
Yeah, me too.
When I say man boobs, I'm talking like almost a C cup.
I gotta be careful. I ain't quite there, but I gotta be careful.
No, I'm pretty sure that they would come. Like if I just completely let myself go, they would probably come. But nah. That's what kind of pissed me off about my youngest son. They gave him he lived out there in Atlanta with his mom. He got it. So when he stayed with no shirt on. So whenever I call him on video chat, that's all I see is little chi-chis all in the dunk on the camera. And I'll just be like shaking my head like, man.
I just found a clip in my batch of clips that kind of go back to what we was talking about as far as like men not benefiting from the achievements of what women have, and another person put a meme on top of it to give it their own narrative, of course, because
but let me ask you a question. What would be the percentage of men? What would you think the percentage of men is that absolutely benefit from it?
Benefit from what?
A woman's accomplishment.
100% of Pookies and Ray Rays, the hobosexuals.
Yeah, I would say just them.
Yeah,
I would say
100% of them.
The Ray Rays.
Yeah, 100% of
But
them.
what I mean, because I get it, but I also don't think it's just Pookie and Ray Ray.
Well, I agree. There are men that use women too, so I'm not gonna dance around that. I'm gonna just keep that real. They got dudes that's
you talking about the Bubbas and the Bufords,
whatever you
You know
want to
what?
call it.
Bubba and Buford as well.
Yeah, the hustlers and the you know what I'm saying. But yeah,
No, I mean there's women, right? There are women who just love to take care of their men.
Yeah.
There are women who rather the man stay home because she makes enough money to just take care of them. These things happen as well.
I think most of those women are the women with more masculine energy though.
But what about she just loves you and wants it and knows that she makes enough money to take care of you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I would say that's a rare case.
I would say that happens, and the moment he does absolutely anything to turn her the wrong way, it's over.
Yeah, because I don't believe that you should ever, man or woman, you should ever put yourself in a position for someone to feed you because you also put them in a position to starve you. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but the scenario that you brought up, that's rare.
It's more common than you think.
No, I know it's common as far as like there's a lot of people out there do it, but I'm just talking about percentage wise, it would probably be in the rarer end.
I'm about to type that in a TikTok and see if there's if that's trending anywhere.
Well, women taking care of men.
Women taking care of men.
But I do also know that any real self-respecting man wouldn't want to be in that position. Also, sometimes it can make the man resent you.
I think it depends on the man.
Yeah.
I don't think the Pookies and the Ray Rays are gonna resent. It's right up
No.
their alley.
Yeah, I think it
You know,
is.
it just depends on. I think it depends on the woman and what she wants. Like I saw a post on Facebook not too long ago where these chicks was talking about like the jail dudes. The dudes is just like fresh out of jail or can't. The reason why they be pen paling with some of these dudes in jail is because of their sexual experience. And when I tell you all of the chicks that was in the comments co-signing, I'm talking about like thousands of them. I was like, see? But I asked a question, of course, no one answered it. I was like, well, I have a question. Are these the same dudes that y'all be claiming it ain't shit? Like, could it be the dudes that you choosing? Because look at the dude that you choosing. That all of y'all is basically saying that that's the dude that y'all want. Is this dude that's in jail because he do all of these things so great.
What I missed? I couldn't hear. Hold on. I came back and you want the dude in jail. Like, what happened?
Yeah, no, I said I was telling her how I came across this Facebook post where they was talking about, the dudes that be the jailbird dudes and how I guess they just blow your back out or whatever. And all of these chicks was on there co-signing like, oh yeah, ain't nothing like that type of dude, blah, blah, blah. Long list. I'm talking about like thousands of comments of these chicks basically co-signing. I was looking for that one chick to be like, dude, are y'all tripping? Like what are y'all talking about? Okay, yeah, the sex is good, but really? So I asked a question. Of course, no one answered. I asked a question like, hey, are these the same dudes that y'all be talking about ain't shit? Because if that's the case, it would make sense. Like, look, you picking a dude that came from jail. Like, are these? No, I didn't say are these the dudes. I said, are these the baby daddies that y'all claiming ain't shit? That's what I said. Are these the baby daddies that y'all claiming ain't shit?
Of course, they don't gonna answer. They goes, see, this is where this statement is relevant, but it can quote unquote trigger. Mm-hmm. It's the cliche of the human condition of not wanting to take accountability for your
choices. For your choices. It's like, dude, all of them like praising them. What's that thing that women do, that little clock that shit or whatever? Basically, all of them in the comments doing that. And it's like, oh, wow, okay. So are these the baby daddies that y'all claiming it ain't shit? Because it would look like y'all picking ain't shit niggas.
But again, to me, I see a link to the rules that were changed in tradition, because traditionally those type of men would have never gotten no coochie. But now we live in a world to where women don't need a man to sustain her, to provide her with a place to live and all of that. So now they've created an environment to where the only thing I need is to get my black bone out. And if Mr. Henry that work at the corporation, on paper, yeah, Mr. Henry should be my husband, but Mr. Henry is missionary Manny, and you know what I'm saying?
Missionary Manny, you know what, Timothy? I'm so proud of you.
You know what I'm saying? So they be wanting that thug passion. It happens. Hey, Vintage Keys, if the link is pinned in the comments, if you want to jump on the panel.
Hello. Yeah, don't go to jail, and I'm your friend. Like, I might not ever write you.
They got a whole. I seen a clip. There was a TV show about women that be like pen pals with these dudes. And the clip that I seen, I'm pretty sure somebody clipped this particular episode purposely, because it was like what we call out here a Hemet meth head type chick. So it was like a clear person that was, looked like she was on that stuff, like crystal meth out. And she was writing this dude, putting a little money on his commissary or whatever. And when he got out of jail, despite what she looked like, he went there and boobity boom boom bang. She said it was the best in her whole life. It was the first time she's ever had a vaginal orgasm in her whole life, and all. And and that he did that, and he got on. She never seen him again, and she jumped right back on the website to find another one.
Well, that's an interesting dynamic, right? Because you have these women that I have an aunt who's stuck by her man for like 15 years in prison. And when I tell you, I kid you not, she like almost made just about every visit for 15 years. He got a letter every day. And I was like, yo, how could you have that much dedication? But this man ultimately came home and he stuck around. He felt like as a man he needed to repay her for the loyalty. Not saying he didn't step out and do some things, but he didn't leave her. And he worked hard and he took care of her. She didn't have to work anymore, like after he got himself established. Because he went to prison, but he was like highly educated, even though he went to prison. So he was able to come home and get a decent job. And then plus he was a little like this. He could sell you your own watch off your wrist. Like it's
I chuckled when you said it ain't like he wasn't stepping out on a herd. I just thought of this joke that what was her name? I can't think of the female comic's name. But she was basically talking to the audience like, yeah, my man went to jail, so I went and had to give me a little side dude. And the audience was like, oh, that's messed up. And she was like, y'all don't cheat on your man when he go to jail? Well, why? Why not? He in there cheating on you. Like, oh,
that's cool.
No, but what's crazy? Like people would say, tell him, like, she was doing her thing here and there. And he was like, yo, like I was away for 15 years. I would be a fool to think that she wasn't, but her loyalty for me never wavered. Right. And I kind of thought that was honorable, but what I was saying is an interesting dynamic. A woman go to jail, and
the Papoose and Remy dynamic.
Well, Papoose is a rarity.
Because what you just described with that woman was supposedly the same thing Pap did. Like Remy would be a fool to think he didn't, dip his spoon in the pudding of something else and all of that, whatever and whatnot.
But what I'm trying to say is that what is it a loyalty thing with men versus women? Because you'll see the visiting areas for men full, but for women empty.
That's very interesting.
The only thing I could think of is they must didn't really have no real man like that when they went to jail.
Well, I don't know. I'm a non-linear thinker, so my brain is all over the place right now. So it's like, because I don't know about that. Because they're the same way they got the pen pal joint for the male prisoners, they have it for the female prisoner. I be seeing like on my timeline, I come across pictures where the female prisoners being there getting, making posts and getting it cracking, having almost
no, they got like whole websites for it, right? And then there's
like
I'm gonna see if I can find. I'm gonna see if I can find this story time for you. I just saw one like maybe 2 weeks ago, and some of these dudes just be like real possessive and crazy.
No, what was you saying, Tim? They be in there doing some OnlyFans stuff or something?
Well, I was saying OF because we're on the internet, but
Oh.
no, like
so that's a bad word now?
Yeah.
Really?
Everything is
Wow.
yeah. That's everything is.
Yeah, they got
Hey.
whole websites for that, but you can't do OF, Tim. Stop it.
No, they do because they got cell phones in there now. So they don't
Well, yeah.
they don't need the visits. They want the dough. They want
Yeah, the story time that this girl said, it was crazy. Like she had like two of them, and one of them was so obsessed with her, and then he was like, "I want to come see you," and she kind of was like, "Nah, dude," and he called the prison and reported her commissary for fraud. But what happened was it didn't work. You know why it didn't work? Because he never sent her commissary at that specific prison.
Oh wow.
Where he was
He
sending
played it
her
safe.
like, yeah, he was sending her like 500 a pop. And then she had another one that she absolutely let come see her and pick her up. And, you know, he kind of really was taking care of her. But when it came time to, you know, do the do, she was like, when she got out, she was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good on you, sir.
Wow.
But she said she learned a valuable lesson about using people, you know.
Yeah,
But
don't do it.
yeah, I just think there's the dynamic between men and women with prison is kind of crazy. Like these dudes be like, I that's why I could never go to jail for a man. Like, are you crazy? I'm not taking nobody's charge. That is not happening because before I even hit arraignment, you will be up in somebody else's bed. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I ain't never been that, cause I want to know ride or die. But why? Where we riding to, and why I have to die? Like I just need to know those two things.
Yeah,
I
I
looked
never.
on TikTok for the women that take care of men, and I kind of can't play none of them because they all got music in the background, and the copyright's gonna hit. But what they seem to be mostly talking about is like rubbing the man's feet, and one woman saying she went and got her husband's jury cleaned for him. Like, is that what they equate to taking care of man?
Yeah, maybe you might want to Google it. Women who are fully financially responsible for their spouse or boyfriends or something. Try that on TikTok. That wording.
Yeah, let me go on mute because TikTok gonna play automatic.
So they gonna do what?
They automatically gonna play like as you look into them. So he's trying not to catch a copyright strike with the music. I'm so tired.
They make stuff too strict.
Yeah, it's like you can't do nothing no more.
Like, could you at least give credit to the artist? Like, hey, this is not my music.
What's cold about this is when I type that in, the first videos that pop up are all saying women are out here paying for grown men. Like it's shaming the man. It's the man fault.
Like, listen, I'm telling
Women
you
don't
because
even women. This the titles they say. Women don't even realize they paying for a man. They paying for a man just to be with her.
move. I'm telling you because you have women like myself who fathers was like, yeah, nah, you better not ever do that. Those are the ones that's probably like, yeah, no, you out here playing for grown men.
Is there music on it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yep, I hear the music already. Dang.
I don't think any dad would tell his daughter to pay for a dude.
Yeah.
I know
Unless her father was one of those dudes that women pay for.
Yeah, like a pimp or something.
So now she's seeing the example of her mom actually taking care of her dad, you know?
Hang on. So this is this video I just listened to. I'm gonna play it, let y'all hear to see, I'm not gonna lead y'all, let y'all get from it what y'all will.
And I know a lot of y'all out here paying. I know y'all out here paying. I know y'all out here paying. And it's ridiculous that y'all out here paying for grown men. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't mean to go off on that, and I don't mean to do no fussing. I know I ain't nobody's daddy. I know this, but it's absolutely ridiculous that you got grown, educated women out here taking care of grown men, PhD women manipulated by GED men. It's sad, it's ridiculous, it's unbelievable to me. If I were a player in this day, I'd be a multimillionaire. This is absolutely ridiculous.
So what I got from that, listening to that, is if taking all the talking points that's out there at face value, that was a black dude, that black women are completely outperforming black men. They're more educated, they make more money, even though the statistics reflect different. But like if we take all of these things into account, then wouldn't by default that be the result, that if a woman does want a relationship, she's gonna have to compromise? I don't want to use the word settle, because that's the word people want to use, and that's like a 4-letter word now. Because I always say, I hear a lot of women saying that they'll never settle, just to settle to be alone. So I don't know.
Well, the be alone part is a rather, not a settlement. I'd rather be alone than to settle for some man just to say that I have a man.
But you still don't get the thing that you want. If you want a relationship, and that's the goal that you want, whether or not you come across the man that's worthy of it, you still settle to not have the thing you want.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't think it's a settle, because you don't have to settle. You rather be alone. Like, I'd rather be alone with my cat than to just pick up anybody from downstairs on the corner just to be like, this is my man.
But that's a different argument. That's saying just to have somebody. That would be settling, to just take anybody just to have somebody.
Right,
but
that's settling.
But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that you want somebody, and you date, and you come up, and you just don't have to do just to be like, well. What I'm talking about is more of a rationalization. What I'm saying is more of a rationalization of the reality of not getting the thing they want. So that way it doesn't, rather than it coming to them and feeling like a failure, it's a pivot, like a self-preservation pivot. Well, it's instead of just having anybody, I just be by myself. And usually that's followed by until the right one comes along. But like we were talking about earlier in this conversation before you got on, or if you were listening, at this big age that we're at, dating is the most difficult because everyone's unwilling to compromise. Everybody, the first red flag, they're ready to throw it away.
I don't know. I'm following you. I get what you're saying, but you do realize, and I think a lot of men cannot fathom this. Older women are at a point where they rather be alone than to deal with some bullshit.
But that's human.
and they're content with being alone. That's not
human.
settling.
But see, the women that you're describing typically be the ones that have had long relationships and long marriages and got divorced, and they're using comparative what's the word? I can't think of the word, but it's when you compare things to when you have too many things going on to where you're comparing things to where you don't see the positive in something. So when you have a relationship and you do it for 20, 30 years, and then whether it don't even have to be a negative, it don't even have to end in divorce, the man could just die.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times women are just like, well, hey, I'm cool, been there, done that, don't want to do it again. You know, I'm okay with being by myself because I was attached to a man for 30. That's a different framework.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about
woman. But that's what I'm saying. But that's a different framework from a woman that's never had a long-lasting relationship. And rather than saying, well, what is it about me that's not attracting the type of man that I think, they be like, you know what? Instead, I'd rather be by myself than have to deal with these men that blah blah, and just name all the negative experiences that she's gone through. And that's in her mind, in that particular woman's mind, those are the justifications that make her see it as not settling to be alone. Because for her, it's not saying.
So what you're doing exactly what I said, that most men can't fathom a woman being content with being alone, whether they've had long-term relationships or not. Sometimes it's just like, I don't want to deal with somebody else's personality.
But that's a human. That's an anybody thing. I can fathom that. I can fathom that somebody
Well,
not.
the fact that you tried
About
to
it
put it,
is, but the thing about it is, it only becomes problematic when, because it wouldn't be an issue if those women didn't take issue or make vocal complaints about why. Because if you're content with being alone, then there's no need to say rather than deal with this, because that doesn't matter.
But if somebody asks you, right? If somebody asks you, there's nothing wrong with articulating why you rather. Now, if you're just complaining all day, every day, yeah, I'd rather be alone because. But if you're in a conversation like similar to what we're having now, it's okay to be able to articulate why you feel that way.
And I would be okay if a woman said it's just if a woman's like like I just do better with myself. That's honest. I do better. I don't do, but that would require accountability.
But what's wrong with that? If you do better by yourself.
There's no right. So why not say it?
But what if that's not the case of the women that you're talking to or the woman that you're asking?
Then it goes down the rabbit hole of there could be 1,000 different nuances. And that's true. There could be 1,000,000 different nuances.
See, when you start to reframe it and restructure it and give it a different framework, that leads me to say you really in your mind can't fathom that a woman could be content with being alone.
But the reality of it, well, I'm a person that looks at reality. And in the framework of an interpersonal relationship, everybody can, when interpersonal, a romantic relationship, there are people that don't have to have it. Men do it all the time, and they're called dogs and all kinds of negative stuff like that. And that's one of those double standards, this asymmetrical thing. But then there's the whole idea of being alone doesn't happen because women always have a social group. So technically they're never really alone. It's a part of why women outlive men. Like I talk to Meech and Janelle about this all the time. I tell them, look, I've done the research. We need to hang out and just chill, because that's a part of why women outlive men, because men tend to isolate themselves. Women will go hang out with each other. If you go to any happy hour anywhere, you'll see tables of women sitting there having margaritas, laughing and giggling and being social. That satisfies that social and connection need. They don't need a relationship. They can go home and be cool because that part of them has been satisfied. Men don't tend to do that.
Yeah. When men do it, it comes off as what's that word again, Timothy? Is
Well, where are you about to say something crazy?
what's that word? What do they call them? Men who
Homosocial?
Yeah, homosocial. It comes off almost as homosocial.
What the hell is that?
Homosocial is a behavior that exists in all human beings, but it's more frequently found in men, where men will reserve their intimate connection for other men but want physical connection with women. So rather than go to his girl and be vulnerable and say, I'm going through this problem, this and express, he saves that for his homeboys, and he only needs women to satisfy his physical needs. That's homosocial.
They had to throw the homo in there, huh?
Homo means human. Homo just means human.
Right. It's been around for a long time. We just didn't have a word for it before. Now we do.
What do you Hey, this is real right here. This is real right here. BKX01. It's all still settling no matter what the outcome, because we all choose what we settle for. I agree. You set a boundary for yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
I like to be free. It's okay to be free and single.
See, a lot of that, like that was something else I come to a realization too. A lot of why men and women's behaviors and outlooks on our relationships with each other are so vastly different is because of the relationship that we have with the physical intimacy. Because for women, they don't value it. Come on, I lost signal. Did y'all hear what I said? I think I lost sound for a second.
Last thing I heard was value.
And now, okay, I was saying they don't value doing it the same way that we value. Not saying that they don't value it at all, because everyone enjoys the physical act. But for us, we don't control access to it. So it's different for us. Every woman I've ever met and ever talked to ever have all said that dick is the easiest thing to get in the world because men just give it away.
Yeah, that's not news though.
No, but that well, it's not news. But when you understand that framework, you then begin to see why men and women have such a different viewpoint on everything. It's the reason why body count matters to men, but not to women.
True.
Because to men, it's like, oh, I have to work to get this thing. This is not something that comes easy to me. So if you just out giving it away, then what value do yours have to me?
I like to describe it as, and I've told this to many women, I like to describe it as like punching in a combination, right? So a man has to figure out that right combination to punch in to get a woman to open her legs.
Well, they have a lock and key analogy already.
Well, and then whereas a woman, the average woman, has a freaking master key to, you know.
Oh, so are you saying this in reverse?
Yeah, in reverse. That's what I'm saying. Like a woman has like a master key to all these dudes' locks, whereas most dudes got to find that combination, or the woman has to surrender the key to him to get up in there, because they and even though nowadays more and more men are exercising discretion, women have always been able to exercise discretion. You know what I'm saying? Because it becomes so easy. Whereas
it's the reason. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Slowly but surely, more and more men. That's why I said the mature men. As men mature, which unfortunately is not a large number that mature, but as men mature, I should say sexual maturity. As they mature, they start exercising more discretion. Whereas when you young, you just trying to hit anything like, oh, you gonna give me something? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And you just go ahead and get it. But once you get older, you like, nah, man. Like I'm cool.
Yeah, so I think that as well as we need to be teaching our sons and our daughters the same thing as far as when it comes to their organs. For real. Be picky and choosy with your organs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely the guys. I think that's always been more of a thing with women, even though nowadays is definitely not as much as it once was, because it's everywhere now. But I would say definitely more to the young dudes, because it's everywhere now. So it's like, hey, you guys, hey, you do know that you don't have to be out there just hitting this and that, right? Simply because they're giving it away. Whereas when I was younger, it was much harder to get than it is today.
I don't know.
Well, me and a dude that be in the back chat named Mudiwa. We used to talk to this particular dude in the back chat that was like a 28-year-old virgin, and he was talking about how he was like really trying to, do it, and we were saying that coming from the generation that we come from, there has to be a lapse in like interaction with women, because this society, from our viewpoint, like you said, Meech, like today, they got women that's giving it away in the name of I have autonomy over my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I want to have sex, don't make me a hoe. That used to be a thing for us. But you think I'm a hoe? You think I'm gonna just give it to you because I'm a hoe? And today I'm a human being that enjoys it just like you enjoy it. That don't make me sorry. That we both hoes then. And it's like,
yeah, I agree with that. I don't think a woman's hoe just because she like to have sex. I never thought that, even when that thought was popular.
Yeah, I just think that 28-year, I mean, I know a 40-year-old virgin. It's a bigger woman though.
That 28-year-old virgin, he was a 28-year-old virgin by choice, or a 28-year-old virgin that just
by
never
circumstance, by just never getting the chance to crack.
He's a dweeb, because he's a dweeb.
Yeah, like basically it was like, nah, he wants to do it. He just ain't found that willing participant.
Right. And that's when that term that was created by a Canadian white woman comes into play, the involuntary celibate.
Yeah.
I did the history on. See, in the back chat, when there's not chaos and stupidity, we actually have good conversations. We had a whole talk about that. I forgot what the lady called it, but she basically made a website to where people that were socially awkward could get together and meet. So, like, because incel isn't gender specific the way that it is framed today.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because she said she regretted. She said she regretted even coming up with the term
right.
because of what it's evolved into.
And I would imagine that Robert Blee and all of them that came up with toxic masculinity would be having regrets on how it's being used today.
Yeah, which is in my opinion ridiculous. It's like whenever there's a new term that's getting thrown around, some catch legs and just people run with it. Like narcissists. I can't tell you how many people I've heard use that term wrong.
Well, studies suggest that we all have little narcissistic tendencies.
No, it's a personality disorder, and it's only a disorder when you have all of the traits at once, because everybody has a trait here, a trait there, a trait here, a trait there. You might even have 2 or 3 of them, but when you got all, I think it's like 7 or 9 of them. When you have all of them, your ass is a
My
narc.
ex had quite a few of them.
Right. But you looking sleepy. We've been on here almost 2.5 hours. Y'all want to rock? I could play another video, or what's happening?
No, because we'll mess around and talk for another hour on that video.
For real.
We can wrap this one up, and then if you want, probably like try to set one up for next Wednesday.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing but time.
Next Wednesday, 6 o'clock sharp. Yeah, like we'll start it at 6 o'clock, I would say. So then that way, if it, once it gets to 2.5 hours, it's only like 8 something.
Right. Well, she on the East Coast, so it's 12:21 for her.
You're in the accent.
Yeah. It's 12:21 for her. She just a what you call it. I'm looking at.
Thank you, fellas.
We got some people in the comments. I was popping them up there, but I think he has a latency because by the time what he types goes up, we'd be talking about something else.
No, I remember Get Smart. I don't remember those things that they mentioned. The main thing I remember about Get Smart is he had the little shoe phone. It was almost like the live action version of Inspector Gadget,
right?
Just far less gadgets.
Yeah. See this comment. See how long ago when you were talking about the lock and the key? That's what he's commenting on.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's coming up late.
So I would say next week, we can touch on anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be male or female. It could be anything. We could, give our perspective on the Iran war, or play some ridiculous.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's just have the conversation right there. Because what I had mentioned earlier was the stuff about the Houston spring break.
The spring break thing.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and then if you come across clips and stuff, you can either save them to your phone or send them to me so we can play them.
Oh yeah, I come across all kind of clips that I'll probably send them. Yeah, I'll start sending you some that we could probably talk about. Most of the stuff I watch though is funny stuff. I love funny stuff.
I got funny stuff that still be relevant. Like he go a dude saying did I cut out? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I can hear you.
Testing.
I can hear you.
So here's a clip of a dude talking about how free coochie is more expensive than paid coochie.
Free coochie is more expensive than paid coochie?
Yeah. Huh?
You said free coochie is more expensive than paid coochie?
Like videos like this crack me up. And then we're going to close it out with this.
Free coochie costs more than paid coochie. Fellas, listen up. Pay attention. Let me say something that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Paying for coochie is much cheaper than getting it for free. And before you start crying in the comments, no, I'm not broke. No, I'm not lonely. And no, I don't hate women. I understand the math, the time, and the energy. You got dudes out here that try to shame men for paying for coochie. Well, here's the difference. I pay women to leave. You pay women to stay. We not the same. Well, let's talk about that free coochie that you bragging about. Because that free coochie you talking about, it comes with rent, car note, hair, nails, lashes, food, dates, gas. You have to be emotionally available. Good morning, Texas. Good night, Texas. Listening to the problems you didn't even cause. Oh, let me add this too. Child support. Yeah. 18 years of pain. Yeah, that little 5 minutes that you got for free cost you 18 years of pain. You're spending hours on the phone, days texting, weeks chasing, months investing, and you getting the same results. Yes, the same results that I got in an hour. Now you stress, you drained, you walking on eggshells. You got to keep her happy. Meanwhile, me, no arguments, no expectations, no emotional labor, and no follow-up. And the funny part is, you still paid for it. You just paid in money, time, energy, and peace. I paid in cash and went on about my day. You calling me crazy while you funding lifestyles. You fixing attitude, negotiating affection like it's a subscription service. I pay once, you pay monthly. Look, no disrespect, no judgment. Do what works for you. But don't act like it's free when it's really not. Because at the end of the day, everybody pays. Some pay with money, some pay with sanity. Choose wisely. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that follow button. And if you're struggling with confidence, you struggling with approaching women, get my ebooks, Unshakable Confidence, Shoot Your Shot. Also, don't forget to join my Patreon. We're going crazy over there. If you're looking
for... It's a trip he mentioned expectations.
Huh?
It's a trip he mentioned expectations.
Right. I thought I seen that. That was hollering like this. He got to be a comedian.
He has no emotional anything. He doesn't want to be attached at all.
I mean,
he's the same guy. He's the same guy that'll end up in a nursing home alone.
Yeah, he didn't lie, but it's just whether or not it's worth the cost. That's what it is.
No, yeah, I get it. But then when he's old and alone in the nursing home with no visitors, you're gonna be like, damn, I shouldn't have thought of it like that.
See if I can find the clip.
I mean, but you could be with someone for a long time and still end up old and alone in the nursing home because if your person passed away.
Yeah, but that's different when you set yourself up to be that way, the way he's talking, and yeah, you never formed any type of connections.
I mean, I don't think, even though what he said had a lot of truth to it, I don't think he's being serious. I think he did it for content and shock value. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, are there men out there that feel that way? Yeah, that just pay for it and keep it moving. And I guess get their social connections other ways. But I would say
men?
Dudes.
Homosocial. That's where the homosocials come in at.
I'm never going to use that word. Just the whole homo part, period. Just like, yeah, no, I'm going to use that word. But I'm to be honest, I'm actually not that though. Like, I'll open up to anybody. If you're willing to listen to my problems, I'll open up. I typically don't share my problems though. I think like most men, you just hold them in.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what contributes to our shorter lifespan is because that's stuff on our shoulders that we really don't have to carry. We just have been conditioned to do it.
Carry on.
All right. Now, what we were just talking about right now, what that dude was talking about when how Meech was saying, like, well, he didn't lie. Let me see. It's a blast from the past right here, Meech.
Oh, you killed the live already?
No, I'm about to after this. Then we can kill
Oh,
the
okay.
live. It's a blast from the past right here, Meech. Let's see if I can get it to freaking play.
But is that true? Is that true or not? Is that true or not?
Is what true?
But I'm just
That he's gonna pay for the shit after the shoot.
no. But you just said men do things to clap them cheeks. So y'all always paying for it. And that's the case. You just said that. You just said that. Not me.
It's been going on for thousands of years.
Okay, then we all hoes, and y'all all
Now look.
tricks then. I mean, that's okay.
Look how serious my face
actually
looks.
correct. Because how as men, when we talk in private, we'll all can agree that men will be like, oh, it's a trip how girls be like, oh, you gotta take you just want me to give it up for nothing, you ain't take me out, we didn't even do nothing, you ain't did this. So
well, I never said that, but okay.
Well, no, but the whole consensus is like, you know, taking a woman out on dates consistently and all this is basically putting the coochie on layaway.
Well, if that's okay, well, if that's the case, then what you guys are saying pretty much is women are all hoes and y'all all tricks.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's been that way for thousands of years.
Oh, well, okay, well, I guess.
I mean, it's the truth, though.
It is what it is, then. So I guess.
It has. It's been that way forever.
Now, how old is that video?
I think we did that in what, like 2020, 2021, something like that.
Let me see. Let me see the date on it. 3 years ago.
No, it had to be more than 3 years ago because I lived in Lake Matthews then.
That's that comment I'm looking because it's not telling me. Why is it not telling me when it was posted?
I think it was like 2020.
Carry on.
Because of the house that I was living in, I lived in that house from 2018 to 2022. And I think if I remember right, I think it was like either late 2020 or early 2021 when we did that video. And when we was talking about men paying for it then, right? That's what I was like, dude, it's been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Even in the biblical days, they had the holy temple of whores.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you pay for it in one way or another.
All right, let me cut the live so we don't just keep going. Then we figure out the next move.
It's the average black man show, talking about everything you need to know. Sometimes things may get a little heated, but these conversations are needed to help the community heal and grow. It's the average black man show, talking about everything you need to know. Sometimes things may get a little heated, but these conversations are needed to help the community heal and grow. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.